Boris Johnson has faced kickback over his threat to deploy Royal Navy warships to patrol UK waters in the event of no deal, but documents unearthed by Express reveal France actually sent a gunboat to a UK port over a fishing dispute. Brexit trade talks have stalled this week over the issue of fisheries, with the EU digging their heels in on their demand for access to UK waters after the end of the transition period. With the deadline fast approaching, the Ministry of Defence confirmed 4 80-metre armed vessels had been placed on standby to guard British waters from EU trawlers on January 1 if no agreement on fishing rights was reached. Mr Johnson's stance was criticised by senior Tories including Tobias Ellwood, Conservative chair of the Commons Defence Committee, who called the threat irresponsible when attention should be focused on striking a deal. Meanwhile, former EU Commissioner Chris Patten accused the Prime Minister of behaving like an English nationalist. However, several EU countries have been known to use warships in fishing disputes, and France once even sent one of theirs to a UK port unannounced after an incident escalated in 1972. During the 60s and 70s, tensions between the UK and its southern neighbour were on the rise due to repeated illegal fishing in UK waters by French vessels. Between 1964 and 1972, 37 French fishing vessels were detained and brought into UK ports, 36 of whom were charged and convicted of illegal fishing in British waters. In 1972, Edward Heath had just agreed for the UK to enter the EEC, but tensions over fishing had reached boiling point. Documents unearthed in the National Archives by Express.co.uk reveal how one particular incident blew up. It all came to a head when British fisheries protection vessel HMS Kellington arrested a French trawler called Athos for illegally fishing in British waters on March 24, 1972. The next day, the French warship, L'Agile, descended on the port of Fishguard, Wales, without giving any prior warning to the UK government or local naval commander. This was because the trawler had requested French naval officers to come as witnesses to give evidence on their behalf. The ship, L'Agile, which should have informed the local naval authorities of its intention straight away, instead arrived unannounced as a surprise to not only the local naval commander, but the Ministry of Defence, and the Foreign Office. Labour MP George Cunningham asked Peter Kirk, Undersecretary of State for the Navy, whether he would stand for this behaviour. He asked, is it not highly unusual practice for a foreign state to send one of its warships into a British port following the arrest of a merchant vessel and the trial of its captain in the British port?